what it's supposed to say. Essentially, there are two types of speeches. There's a look on the past, look forward to the future, and benefits of that, and think about the class. And then there's this speech. There's three words that need to be near and dear to all of our hearts: truth, integrity, and friendship. These three words are the basis in the foreign speeches ever written. As we go through this 2-hour ceremony, I'm sure that one thing is going to draw your mind. How much longer is this going to take? We stand here in long gowns and droopy hats with tassels that are made of eagles, but no one looks good at, not even you, Matt. The choir gives everybody who wears these gowns the school's last chance to do what's really good at, making us feel stupid. So I advise all of you to keep these gowns. In some of our cases, these may be the last outfit you'll never outgrow. To our gown arrangements, especially youngsters, graduation is a magical day when the principal gives you a diploma and your dad gives you help on the section. Look at the smiling faces of the teachers for the last time, which may very well be why you're smiling. Very soon you realize that this may be the last boring speech you'll ever have to listen to in high school. But what's the point of high school? All of us are going on to college. It doesn't get easier. It sure doesn't get cheaper. We spend $50 to Jobston to pay for overpriced invitation. Ask everyone we know to drive 100 miles over here so you can break down crying and embarrassing ourselves. But for what? I like to think that it's to look and commemorate the last 4 years. It's amazing to think how much has changed since then. We've had 3 headmasters, 15 teachers, and none of us have met 13 girls. Daniel and Zach were at the law school, valedictorian and salutatorian. Krista was hoping to swing the JV team. For basketball, we were all going to be wiped out by bird flu, and SpongeBob and Billy Madison were the source of ball fever. Well, I guess that's never changed. It's more unthinkable if you go back to 1991. The Gulf War was the main headline for the USSR collapse. 60 years of the seniors were born. The pastoral staff at Covington had hair. I love these types of stories. Big events change, people change too. A year ago, the school embraced classical education. Apparently, consists of renaming all the courses and making everybody read D&D. All familiar faces have retired and left, and many new people come in. But the point of Covenant hasn't changed. It's not about teaching us how to squeak by through our courses. It's about making us squeak by through real life too. With Covenant, I'm convinced there's nothing we couldn't do in this room tonight if the deadline weren't tomorrow. Let me give some parting advice to say this. It's this. Stay close to your family. No matter where you go, what you do, or what they do, they're still going to be your best bet for men's kidneys. And I encourage you to stay close to your friends too. Unless you don't have the same blood type as you, then you can make better friends. Look at your high school yearbook. It's interesting to see what you can learn about yourself, about your friends. And when you look back someday, one thing's going to stick out to you. There's a fortune to be made in dermatology. A serious word of advice, though. What you do these next 4 years will have the biggest impact on what you do in your life. You'll likely meet your future spouse. Your major will determine on your career. Some of the habits you'll develop in college, like eating habits, are going to follow you for the rest of your life. And if you go to Auburn like Alex, he'll be saying, "Welcome to Jam Ball's Fried Chicken," the rest of your life. You'll be thinking about going to liberal. And for those of you who go to Gulf Coast, you'll get the special effects of smoking without ever having to smoke yourself. I remember my first day, I visited in 8th grade to see if the school did good at snatch for me. I was supposed to follow Matt. Matt didn't show up till 8:20 and left at noon for a basketball game without telling me. So Mrs. Adams got in a fight with Naomi and made Naomi write some long song about sin full time. Mr. Bingham delivered the Slaughterhouse Chapel, some of you may remember. It was made Sidney Clinton and Morgan Adams spoke it all up. This was my first day as a scared homeschooler. So of course, I fell in love with Covenant immediately. But it wasn't that that made me fall in love with Covenant. Or Fred the Spider, the Boom Whackers, kicking little sticky dinosaurs around Ron's hair in study hall, or even Miss Melvin swearing at Christians. There wasn't true-false questions like Jesus distance and was never no savior, true or false. It's a community of friends that seem more like a family, not just because it's so dysfunctional. I'll never be able to think exactly enough for taking me in right off the bat and spending time with me. And if not for Ryan Paul and Christo, I'd probably gone to the Gulf Coast to get my AA. That's my freshman year. Mrs. Melvin, Mr. Bingham, and Mrs. Canfield, no matter what else is said, really do care about each and every one of their students. The students here are funny, warm, loving, and really the real reason I'm still here today. And with their quirks and interesting personalities, they're the reason that Covenant is so great. I want to graduate with so many interesting people and have this event. And government has made me what I am today, so I'm not so sure that that's a good thing. I'll send you my therapy bill if that's okay. And now we'll learn what higher education is about. It's about getting rid of this old, stupid, bad habits and replacing with far more destructive ones. We learn in higher education things before the truth of life, like police is not really your friend. Stealing garden gnomes is a felony in 27 different states, and you can never outweigh the bureaucracy. The IRS does not take your first dollar. You get to keep the first one and takes everyone after that. Now, I'd like to give you Matt Adams for his remarks.